There's a quiet truth that most people miss. Wealth isn't just about money, it's about mindset. And more importantly, it's about habits. The ultra-wealthy don't necessarily work harder than everyone else. They just live differently. From the moment they wake up to the moment they go to sleep, their daily rituals are designed to preserve, expand, and reflect their wealth. Before we dive into the 10 everyday habits that secretly separate the rich from everyone else, take a moment to hit that subscribe button. Because on this channel, we uncover the real psychology, routines, and philosophies behind the world's most successful and discreetly wealthy people. Now, let's get into it. Starting with habit number 1. The rich treat mornings like strategic launchpads. Most people wake up and react to the world. Emails, social media, the rush to get out the door. The wealthy, however, treat mornings as sacred. Their first hours aren't for chaos, they are for clarity. They understand that how you start your day sets the tone for every decision that follows. That's why you'll rarely find a successful person rolling out of bed and scrolling through their phone. Instead, they build routines that sharpen their focus: meditation, journaling, a quiet walk on their property, or a workout that activates both body and mind. This isn't about luxury, it's about mental dominance. The rich know their most valuable asset isn't money, it's their attention. They schedule thinking time. To most people, doing nothing looks lazy, but to the wealthy, thinking is working. They set aside time every single week, sometimes every single day, for what they call strategic solitude. No meetings, no noise, just space to think about where they're going and how the world is changing around them. Warren Buffett famously spends 80% of his day reading and thinking. That's not an accident, it's a habit of control. While most people are drowning in busyness, the wealthy are using stillness as a competitive weapon. The habit of reflection gives them clarity, and clarity is what keeps them rich. The wealthy track every dollar, but rarely obsess over prices. This might sound contradictory, but it's not. The rich don't ignore money, they just manage it differently. They don't obsess over discounts or clip coupons. Instead, they track cash flow, investment performance, and how their money works for them. Every dollar has a job, whether it's growing through investments, preserving value in assets, or generating passive income. While most people focus on how much they can save, the rich focus on how much their money can earn. That's why their mindset isn't scarcity-based, it's strategic. They guard their energy like their bank account. Average people guard their money, the rich guard their energy. They're selective with who they spend time with, where they go, and what they commit to. You won't see them accepting every social invitation or engaging in pointless drama. Why? Because they understand that emotional and mental energy are finite resources, and when wasted, they cost far more than money. They design their surroundings to eliminate friction. Their homes, offices, and even wardrobes are optimized for efficiency and focus. Minimal decision fatigue, maximum clarity. It's not about being controlling, it's about preserving mental bandwidth for what truly matters. They spend more on time than on things. Here's a paradox most people don't understand. The rich often pay to do less, not more. They outsource, automate, and delegate to buy back their time. The one thing money can buy, but most people spend carelessly. While middle-class households might do everything themselves to save money, the wealthy invest in convenience because it allows them to focus on high-value thinking, relationships, and opportunities. That's why they hire assistants, use concierge services, and structure their lives to avoid unnecessary tasks. The lesson? The wealthy don't measure value in dollars. They measure it in time and freedom. They consume content, not entertainment. Turn on a random TV show or scroll through TikTok, and you'll see how the masses are conditioned to consume mindlessly. Wealthy people, they curate what enters their mind. They read biographies, listen to audiobooks, study history, analyze markets, and attend private lectures or think tank discussions. Every input serves a purpose, either education, inspiration, or connection. That doesn't mean they never relax, they just choose stimulation over sedation. Even their entertainment, art, music, film, often doubles as cultural capital that strengthens their worldview and networks. Their secret? The rich never stop learning. They network intentionally, not casually. For most people, networking means collecting business cards or following others on social media. For the wealthy, it's an art form. They build circles that sharpen them, not drain them. Every lunch, dinner, or event they attend is curated. They don't chase connections, they cultivate alliances. When they meet someone new, they're not thinking, "What can I get?" They're asking, "What can we build?" This subtle shift in mindset makes all the difference. They know relationships compound like investments. A single introduction can open doors to opportunities that would take others years to access, and they protect these networks fiercely. Trust, loyalty, and discretion are non-negotiable. Gossip is poison in elite circles. Confidentiality is currency. So while most people mingle, the rich connect. The wealthy think in decades, not days. If you want to know how rich people stay rich, look at their time horizon. The average person wants fast results, the latest crypto spike, the next viral business, the instant win. The rich, they play the long game. Their decisions are guided by compounding, not instant gratification. They invest in assets that appreciate slowly but surely: blue-chip stocks, land, timeless art, family businesses, or even reputation. Because they understand that wealth built slowly lasts longer. This long-term mindset bleeds into their daily habits. They eat for longevity, not cravings. They read to expand perspective, not escape reality. They delay comfort to multiply opportunities. Every move is part of a bigger picture, a strategy that spans generations. They obsess over privacy and control. True wealth is quiet, and so are the people who hold it. The richest individuals in the world aren't always the ones flaunting their wealth online. In fact, the more someone needs to show it, the less they often have to protect. The genuinely wealthy understand that exposure invites risk: financial, reputational, even personal. That's why they live by the principle of controlled visibility. You'll see what they allow you to see, nothing more. Their social media, if it exists, is curated for purpose, not validation. They also control their environments: private banking, private education, private travel. Even their homes are often shielded by trusts or shell companies. Privacy isn't paranoia, it's protection. For them, secrecy isn't a wall, it's armor. They treat health like an asset class. This one surprises many. But the wealthiest people in the world don't just invest in stocks, they invest in their bodies. Their routine might include early morning workouts, personalized nutritionists, infrared saunas, cryotherapy, sleep tracking, and regular medical testing that predicts issues before they appear. They understand that the body is the foundation of every decision, every business deal, every creative idea. They know that burnout destroys dynasties, so they train for endurance, not aesthetics. You'll rarely find them bragging about how busy they are. In their world, exhaustion isn't a badge of honor, it's a sign of poor management. They optimize their energy as seriously as their portfolios. The lesson? The rich don't chase more hours in the day. They maximize the quality of the hours they already have. At first glance, these habits might seem unrelated: journaling, investing, privacy, and health. But underneath, they share one philosophy: control. The wealthy build systems that protect them from chaos: financial chaos, emotional chaos, social chaos. Every choice they make reduces uncertainty and increases freedom. To the outside world, this looks like discipline, but to them, it's peace. That's why even on ordinary days, they operate differently. Their morning walk isn't just exercise. It's a source of clarity. Their dinner conversation isn't small talk, it's strategy. Their spending isn't indulgence, it's intentional. Meanwhile, most people live in reaction, reacting to trends, temptations, and crises. The rich live in design. And that's the quiet difference the world never sees. Now that you've seen the hidden habits that quietly separate the wealthy from everyone else, ask yourself this: how many of these are already part of your day? Because wealth rarely arrives by luck. It's shaped by invisible decisions made daily. Ones that compound in the background until one day, everything looks different. If this kind of insight into the psychology and lifestyle of the elite fascinates you, make sure to subscribe to the Luxury Lane and turn on notifications. Every week, we uncover the hidden world of old money, private wealth, and timeless success, told through stories most people never hear. And remember, small daily shifts can lead to extraordinary change. The invisible divide. The truth is, the habits that separate the rich from everyone else aren't always glamorous. They're quiet, deliberate, and often unseen. But over the years, even decades, they create an invisible divide between those who manage life and those who master it. Think about it. Two people can start their morning the same way, but one checks their notifications and reacts to the world, while the other sits in silence, setting their intention. 10 minutes a day, done consistently, becomes thousands of hours of mental discipline over a lifetime. That's the essence of wealth. It's not built in leaps, it's built in layers. The psychology of daily decisions. What the wealthy understand better than anyone is that money follows mindset. When you treat your time as precious, your energy as currency, and your attention as capital, the world begins to align differently. You start attracting better opportunities, better relationships, and ultimately, better results. The average person sees luxury as something you buy. The rich see it as something you build through choices. Every yes and no becomes an investment decision. They ask different questions. Will this drain or multiply my focus? Does this purchase give me freedom or take it away? Is this relationship rooted in growth or convenience? And those questions are what separate prosperity from paycheck to paycheck survival. Wealth is a system, not a salary. The secret most people miss? Wealthy individuals rarely depend on a single source of income. They don't rely on jobs. They rely on systems, everyday habits, reading financial statements, analyzing trends, reviewing portfolios, or even journaling about opportunities. Feed those systems. They see the world as a network of moving parts. Their money works while they sleep because their decisions were designed to outlast them. Meanwhile, the rest of the world works for money that disappears the moment it's earned. It's not intelligence that makes the difference. It's consistency. Small, repeatable actions that stack up over years, creating momentum that never fades. How the rich think differently. When something goes wrong, the average person says, "Why is this happening to me?" The wealthy ask, "What is this teaching me?" When a deal fails, they look for the lesson. When the economy dips, they look for opportunity. Their resilience isn't emotional, it's strategic. They expect volatility, they prepare for risk, and they adapt faster because they've built habits that keep them grounded. To the outside world, that looks like confidence. But in truth, it's simply the result of decades of mental training, thinking in probabilities, not emotions. That's why they stay calm during chaos and are decisive when others hesitate. Luxury isn't about excess, it's about refinement. There's another myth worth breaking. Real wealth isn't loud. It's not about designer labels, endless vacations, or over-the-top displays of success. That's a performance for those still seeking validation. Old money families, discreet billionaires, and self-made elites all share one trait: restraint. They buy fewer things but better ones. They live in beautiful homes but not always the biggest. Their clothes are elegant, not flashy. Their social media, minimal, if it exists at all. Because for them, luxury isn't about being seen, it's about feeling at peace. Their wealth is not meant to impress the crowd, it's meant to buy freedom from it. The ripple effect of habits. If you take one thing from this entire video, let it be this. Success is never accidental. Every rich person you admire today once stood at a crossroads between easy comfort and long-term discipline, between instant pleasure and invisible progress. They chose the latter. Over and over again, their daily choices, how they wake, think, eat, spend, and connect, are small signals that compound into empires. Meanwhile, the rest of the world dismisses these as unimportant. That's why most people stay where they are, not because they can't rise higher, but because they never realize how powerful small habits truly are. If you want to live like the rich, don't start with their lifestyle. Start with their discipline. Don't copy their cars, copy their focus. Don't imitate their image, imitate their intent. Because the moment you begin making your days deliberate, your future becomes inevitable. And one day, someone will look at your life and say, they got lucky. But you'll know the truth. Luck had nothing to do with it.